Yeah, we find her, the beautiful girl we've been missing. We wanna have her kissing. We find her, now we in love. So it goes out, the remix.
DMB, Tux Bites, remix.
Now if I had to lose you like a bad phone connection, I'd change my game to get a better reception. Sit back, let's start this interaction. Don't fight the feelings, just a chain reaction. Your heart won't give you the wrong instructions. Like my GPS, yes I got the right direction. We gotta merge together like a road intersection. Last stop is gonna be my love and affection. I ain't like the mother dudes, they wanna call you shorty, but I'ma call you a beautiful girl. I took your picture home, my mama saw it, she's a very, very beautiful girl. I wanna put you in my video, cause you're so beautiful. You're a beautiful girl. So when you hear us on your radio, turn up your stereo. It's beautiful girl.
Gotta find a shorty, what's worth of a lady. Ain't nice but maybe doesn't look like 40. It's taking a little time. I wasn't seeing no signs, any traces of my baby. Who's gonna be my baby? But I thought I'm gonna take my time within a juggle of an eye. I saw a shorty passing by. She's got this very pretty smile. He was right at the bus station. I tried to make a conversation, holding her arms, feeling so charmed. I felt the sensation. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. And now I realize I found me a beautiful girl. She's a model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it by. Beautiful girl, sparkling eyes, a killing thigh. I found me a beautiful girl.
My wish came true when I saw you, girl. God must have blessed me with your beauty, girl. Looking so right from your head to your toe, shaped like a Coke bottle with a smile of a queen. My queen to be, you my destiny. Got a body of a goddess with your beauty. I'm impressed and I'm never in distress. Come on over and be mine. Been searching for a man and now all the cats keep looking to mine. With a sexy walk and a sexy talk, she must be from the planet called the sexy world. I know I ain't tripping, better yet I'm thinking put a ring on the finger. We look good together. Take your place in my heart with your beauty. I'ma say that I'll never turn away. Who would think I'm in love?
So the way she smiles at me just really makes me weak. The way she speaks to me just really make me go so weak. Keep staring in her eyebrows. All I kept on saying is wow. Your beauty shines and breeze at night. All I really want in my life. Oh yeah. It's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it. Beautiful girl, sparkling eyes, killing thigh. I found me a beautiful girl. Yeah, beautiful girl. What beautiful girl, yeah. Beautiful girl.
Damn. Money. You seen her? Hot Ice. Have you seen her? LP. Have you seen her? I'ma go over to Tux Bites. I know you've probably seen her. He has a lot of beautiful girls with him. Tux, it's DMV, baby. Look.
Beautiful.
I look for a while, but I can't seem to find a beautiful girl so I can make her mine. Time
Time after time I've been searching for a while, but every girl I meet never seems worthwhile. What can I do? I pray to God for an answer. I feel pains in my heart like cancer, and when I find her, I'm gonna romance her. Lace several presents and gifts, call me Santa Claus. I make a heartbeat pause. That's my girl, homeboy, not yours. The girl of my dreams, she's more than I ever thought. Show me ass and picture, I think I'm getting punked. She's what I really want, so I'm a go-getter. Since I'm a go-getter, you know I'm gon' get her. And I will give her the world, anything for my beautiful girl.
Psych. Ooh, it's been a while that I've been trying to find a beautiful girl. Fine, brown eyes. I found me a beautiful girl. She's my model, she's so fine. I just wanna take it, beautiful girl. Sparkling night, killing time. I found a beautiful girl.
Girl, it's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.
What's going on, everybody? Ladies and gentlemen of Prestige, how on a day? All right. We have quite a few things to cover in 90 minutes. I've only got 90 minutes and we've already used up 7 minutes of it. We have a lot to cover. All right. Shout out to Auntie B. She's still running this show. I'm looking at the screen. Shout out to Auntie B. Wow. What a day. We have a lot to cover. Well, today, first and foremost, it's very important. The topic that we're covering today is Yomi Gold, right? With another actor who is out there selling Nigeria to the rest of the world by way of entertainment. He just announced divorce. All right, so I'm just gonna get into it because again, we got very limited time. All right, we have very, very limited time. Do me a favor, as you're coming in, hit that like button and subscribe. If you're brand new here, share. We hit 1,900 subscribers yesterday. Maybe in the next 2 or 3 days, we can hit 2,000 subscribers, okay? But the good news is that the views are going wild, okay? We hit 125,000 views last time I checked, so we're growing regardless, okay? But shout out to you. Help me hit that like button. Share and subscribe. And if you're not part of the WhatsApp group, make sure you join the WhatsApp group. All right, over here we talk about relationships in general. We talk about relationships, but we also assess it from a standpoint of power, attraction, seduction, and obviously the ultimate goal is making sure that this thing we call emotions, KEREWA, all this thing that we're going to do anyway, relationships, that is contained properly so we don't self-destruct, because there's a lot of blind spot. And we saw an example literally like minutes ago. All right, what it looks like when you don't get a hold of yourself, even with good intentions. All right, do me a favor, if you can hear me loud and clear, please let me know that you can hear me loud and clear as you're coming in. I just want to make sure that I'm not talking to myself. Okay. Wow. Let me share my screen really quickly. Okay, let me share my screen. All right, we got it. All right, so we're covering this story really quickly before we jump into some of the other stuff I have to do. I do have about 2 or 3, 4 stories to cover in the next 80 minutes. Okay, we're going to do it. It's not a problem. So Yomi Gold is an actor. Apparently, according to reports, he was married for 15 years and then he divorced and then got married. And this marriage only lasted 1 year. All right. And the reason why I'm pulling this up, there's no drama or anything like that in this. It's not much. It didn't say much. Hey, Clara, thank you so much for letting me know that you can hear me loud and clear. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. The reason why I'm coming up with this is because I know that this show in particular attracts a lot of divorcees that want to do it right the second, the third time, the fourth time, and I can only we can help, okay? Because particularly you have some things you need to watch out for, okay? Um, there's no one that's gonna tell you that you were wrong in any in most cases, okay? Because you had your experience and no one can invalidate that experience, right? So, whatever that experience is, that's your point of view and it's valid, right? It's valid because that was your experience. So, I can't sit here and tell you that you're wrong or anything like that. We can't do that. Plus, I don't know your full story, but, in my opinion, we all have the right to be right.
Well, you're right.
Now, in that show that Auntie B is rounding up right now, shout out to Auntie B again. That show that she's rounding up right now, in that show, there's a lot of people in the chat talking about somebody has right. Somebody has right. Somebody's entitled. You see our life, Shara Yellow Day. You see? Everybody think they have rights. When we're talking about relationships, we're talking about real life. We're talking about reality. In reality, if that's your perspective that you have right, unless you're an activist, if that's what you do professionally, you're an activist and you're fighting for a group of people, right? Of course, you will agitate and that will show some level of emotions if it's valid in any way, right? Normal, I get that, right? But if it comes down to personal level, be guided. Anyway, let's talk about this story really quickly before we jump all in that, right? Because I will have to react to a particular segment of Auntie B's show that she's rounding up right now. So let's run through that. What did Yomi posted? Yomi allegedly posted this. Yomi Gold says, me and Mina decided to go our separate ways.
Stop the cap.
All right. There's always one person that pulls the plug. All right. It's always one person that pulls the plug. And usually that plug was pulled long ago before the announcement. Okay. So if you're looking at celebrity PR statements to determine your life and you're using that as your talking point, instantly you start falling apart. Just like that. As you can see, there's a lot of cap in that, right? That's a heavy cap, okay? Red. I want all our families and fans to understand this is no time to judge anyone. I agree. Judgment, condemnation, shaming, blaming, guilt, they don't work with this stuff. Why? There's no paycheck next Friday. It's not fair. It will never be fair. It is what it is. No. If it was fair, we wouldn't be hearing this news, right? Somebody is feeling right now like this is completely not fair. And that's the reality, okay? When love dies in relationship, no one should force it. I agree. However, what do you mean by love dies? What do you mean by that? I'd be curious to know the full story behind that, right? Because there's some people that a little bit of tolerance may be required, right? But they're not able to tell us, right? Why? Because they need to put their best foot forward like the rest of us, right? Packaging, PR, public relations, right? And I can respect that. But for you that you're looking at these stories and you're like, yeah, sometimes love dies, without paying attention, what's the story behind it? Why would you agree that love dies without knowing the story behind it? Why are you relating so quick? That's just one sentence, right? When love dies in a relationship, right? Yeah, it's not that simple. It's not that simple. No one should force it. I agree on the surface, but Betty, what do you mean by love dies? No one should force it, right? What do you mean by forcing it, right? Is somebody trying to tell you like, hey, listen, you will end up in the streets. There's nothing out there. Is that what you mean by forcing it? Or this is truly a toxic situation where you can't think straight. In which case, I can always respect that. And because if you can't think straight, nothing good is going to come out of it anyway. But I'm just saying this so you can assess it. Make sure you understand that fully. He says, I want to use this time to thank everyone who has been very concerned and supportive, right? PR, that's fine. Mina is a good person. All right. All right. Mina can very much be a good person. Good people end up in divorce court all the time. All the time. All the time. I promise you. She doesn't deserve a man like me. Do you mean that? Do you truly mean that? Right? Clementina says you can't force love. I agree 100%. Right? You can't. You can't force attraction particularly. Right? Love, it depends on what you mean by love. Right? Love, to people that have been in it long enough, they know that a big part of that is duty and responsibility. You just have to be a little bit more intentional about love. That part. The in-love experience, the attraction part of it, the affection part of it, the feelings, you can't force that. You feel it or you don't feel it, right? You can influence it if you understand process and time and patience, right? If you understand seduction, you can absolutely influence it. Absolutely, okay? But usually, people that are trying to force love, people with controlling behavior, they want it now. They want it to happen right now, you know? So, let's keep going. Yeah, Mina is a good person. Good people end up in divorce court all the time on both sides. It's not relevant for the most part. Okay. She doesn't deserve a man like me. Cap.
Stop the cap.
He knows it doesn't. He knows it doesn't mean that. But you know, I accept it. I receive it as a PR statement, right? Oh, okay. All right, so she will make a great and loving partner to a far better person than me. This guy.
Stop the cap.
I'm not. He's on point. Okay, I like it. This is the kind of statement. If you have a lot to lose, if you have reputation, right? This is all you should do. Now, hopefully, you don't have any secret. Hopefully, you don't have aunties and sisters that will feel the need to come and defend you in public when you clearly said, I will leave it to God to fight my battles, which is the best decision ever, right? But hopefully you don't have anybody. But if you do, it doesn't matter because all you have to do is wait 1 or 2 days. That one will go away too, right? I think Yomi Gold gets it. He gets it, right? He says, I'm not perfect. That's a fact. No one is perfect, right? I will work on myself and be a better person. Okay, it's just a PR statement. It's not that deep. This has to be published because we want everyone who knows about us to be aware of our decision. Time will be good again. Accurately on point. Accurately on point. Okay. Now here's why I wanted to share this particularly. Okay, a couple of lessons in here. For particularly for those of you that are divorced and you're hopeful for love again, which is absolutely possible, right? Especially if you listen to what I'm about to tell you, right? And for those of you that just can't see the future, that will inevitably end up in that situation, the numbers are telling. Okay, a lot of people are just never really prepared for what we're dealing with. Okay. Here's what you need to worry about. Clara says, first of all, Clara says, love died within a year of marriage. I guess the scales fell from their eyes. Well, for most people, it would die within 2 years, okay? Within a few years, I should say. I can't put too much numbers on it because it depends on people to people. Whatever they called love, whatever they deemed to be love in the beginning will die. Because see finish is not your mate, okay? That's just the reality, okay? Oh no, but we were intentional. We asked all the questions. Shout out to JR, that was on Anti-Beast. He said, ask all the questions. Kodifa. Okay. People are not capable of telling you that level of truth anyway. They are incapacitated, particularly. They just can't. Because they're in love, remember? They can't comprehend what you're talking about. They're in love. That's all they can see. Right? And that's okay. That's normal. Okay? It's not something you can tell people and say, no, you too, you should be able to do that. No, it's not. Okay? If they're going to go into the fantasy of doing live, yes, it's a fantasy at first because People that say I do, they don't know what they're doing. Across the board. All right. You don't know what you're about to engage in. If God showed you what you're about to do inside marriage, even the ordinary internet that we have access to, everybody is discombobulated. They can't think straight. They're accusing each other, attacking each other, both genders attacking each other. They can't think straight anymore because what? They're reading too much about red flags. So imagine if God gave you a screen to see everything that will happen in marriage. You won't go into it. But because I know you're a human and you will want to KEREWA at some point, you will fantasize about it. You will create this beautiful thing about it, partly about marriage, and you'll be like, I want to do it too. In fact, not only do I want to do it, I want us to spend all our life savings on the wedding. So that I can look, this is paradise. Love in paradise, right? It makes sense. It makes absolute sense. All right. As you're coming in, please make sure you hit that like and share and subscribe button. Thank you so much. It makes sense. That's how you feel, right? But the reason why I'm pointing out, I want you to be aware, because if you're aware, that's half of the battle won, because there is war. It's going to be war. Okay? You fight not the flesh. It's coming. All right? It's not something you can prepare small. Premarital counseling here and there, But awareness is going to be the awareness and conflict resolution skills. It's about all you can really do, right? Learn your personality. Those are some of the things you can do, right? In terms of preparing. Now, in terms of second and third second and third marriages, the divorce for second and third marriages are much higher. They are much higher. Okay, across the board, most societies, developed societies, they record data around 40 to 60% divorce rate, about around 50. Okay, for second and third marriages, we're talking about 75 to 80%, because the tolerance level are much lower, right? And people don't. That's number one. The tolerance level are much lower because, hey, I've divorced before. I'm not scared of divorce. So what happens every time typically, generally speaking, if you hit like a crises are inevitable. Crises in life are inevitable. It's how you handle it that makes the difference. Does that make sense? It's how you handle crises are inevitable. Life will happen. Isht will happen. Right? I'm creating words now to replace all my curse words. I'm a curser in real life, so I'm trying to replace all my curse words. Right? Things will happen that will throw you off, that will tamper with your sense of security. And guess who the devil is going to use if there was a devil? I think there is. Some of you agree, right? Right? He will use the people, you and the other person. All right? These things will show up in the form of your typical daily stuff. Why did you talk to me like that? Who is he talking to? Resentment. I don't want to tell him how I feel right now because I don't want any drama today. Right? So the tolerance level are much lower in second and third marriages. What else? When people come out of a marriage and they divorce, it's everything and everyone else's fault and never self, but self. Everything and everyone else's fault but self. And the truth is that once you make faults relevant, it's natural that you feel that way, because after all, you were perfect. Does that even exist? You and me and everyone else except Yomi Gold, at least Yomi Gold is admitting that he's not perfect, right? You and everyone else except Yomi Gold. You, me, and everybody else were perfect. We don't commit anything though. We came out of this marriage, it was all the other person's fault. Maybe you truly went through an experience that naturally you feel that way. Maybe that person was controlling. You couldn't tell him nothing. Everyone else tried to talk to him or her. They won't listen until you got too tired and it was too late. These are real life experiences that I can't invalidate. Okay? However, think about that position where you're in. That position where you're like, you're just a human being who feel hurt, right? There's no way you're going to engage the necessary lessons right? That's necessary in order to move on into another relationship. There's no way you could engage healing, proper healing, correct healing, right? Properly before you engage, because your viewpoint is that I was just in a terrible marriage with a person that was just a bad person. That's just how you feel it. It's not even your fault that you feel it that way. If fault was relevant at all, right? You can't see that. So what do? You take your good old self with your own shadow, because there's always a light beaming on you at any point in time. So that shadow is there. It's following you everywhere you go, right? What do? You go re-engage another person. What happens next? You do KEREWA. You forget the hurts, right? You're like, no, this is what I've always, the fantasy, everything you fantasize is basically what you've experienced when you were in love with the first person, and it comes back. You start feeling good all over again, right? And then it's time to plan another wedding. Hey, you've told yourself before that I will never do this again. Last time I was there, but hey, I feel like I feel. I can't stop what I feel. What did we say about love earlier? You can't force it. You can't force it, right? Isn't that what we said about love? So after all, there is love now. I'm not forcing it. It's just here. It's just here, right? And this guy's a nice guy. He's quite different from where I came out of. It's different. It's not the same thing, right? Before you know it, they plan the wedding again and they're doing it again. But what did I say about tolerance level? It's much lower. But now your shadow, the problems, at least 50% of the problems that created the previous scenario is there with you. But this time, the time is much more compressed. And a lot of other things are much more compressed. You don't have the tolerance for any kind of BS. You won't take it. You won't take it, because the moment you see a little bit of anything that looks like it, what do? You're like, nah, this is not what I'm looking for. I smell it again. I see it again. This, Yoruba people say, what's the word? Something with the effect of not falling into the same hole all over again. That you don't want to fall into that same hole again, right? But that's the reality. Okay, so if somebody was married for 15 years and 1 year later they come out and make a PR statement like this, right? What did he say? He said, Mina is a good person. He's a good person. She doesn't deserve a man like me, right? This is a man who is probably saying, you know what? I don't know how the people that are successful in marriage manage to have peace. Let me remove myself. It's all my fault. Right? That's what it sounds like to me. Doesn't mean he didn't commit atrocities, but bottom line is that it's a man that's basically facing the reality and say, hey, this is not the work. But instead of waiting 15 years to happen, he said 1 year later, he said, I'm good. We don't know the full story, but this is very common, okay? Like I said, second and third marriages, 75 or more % divorce rate. So if you're going to do it again, it doesn't matter whose fault it was. It really doesn't. You were at least 50% of what created that situation. You need to engage proper counsel, wise counsel, therapy, potentially, professionals, to learn what is it about you that attracted that past situation. It wasn't your fault. That's not what we're talking about. It's not relevant. Faults are not relevant. Okay? You're a human being and you attracted another human being with flaws like you. Granted, Motigbo, you are right. Their flaws was much bigger than yours. Motigbo, you are right.
You're right.
But it's not that simple, right? So you must talk to someone else that can see the blind spots, all right? So that you don't end up with a faster divorce. Very, very important. All right. So let me see. Temilade, hey, Temilade, how are you doing? I do see. How are you? How are you? She says, I feel no one can actually prepare 100% for marriage. That's a fact. All you can prepare for is you can learn conflict resolution skills, okay? And you can be aware that you don't know what you're doing when you go say I do on those altar. On that altar, right? On the pulpit. You don't know what you're doing. If I showed you what you're about to face, you won't do it. But that's the whole point of life. Everything in life that we value is a move of faith 100% of the time. There's no guarantees. Yes, even when you avoid marriage, there's no guarantees. So that one no help either, right? Especially if you know you will want to do KEREWA. Okay, all right, good. So that's the whole story with Yomi Gold. I think Yomi Gold is making the right moves right now by not saying a lot. I don't think the part where he was taking blame is necessary. I think everything else in that statement is perfectly fine. She's a good person. I'm forever grateful. In fact, let me tell you right now. Okay. Tiffany says, Lord, today, Wahala, hot. I came straight from Auntie B's page. I bet you did. How are you doing? You missed the Yomi Gold story. All right. And we're going to be here for another hour or so because I have to run. Have a lot going on this week. Clementina says, tolerance around understanding and communication styles are necessary. So I call that personality. Learn your personality. Learn each other's personality. Do personality test. I agree with that. I'm going to do a reaction to one guy called the lead attorney, where he gave three things you should do to prepare as men, but I think women too should be aware of it, right? But I'll tell you one thing is missing, and I'm going to add on to that. I'm going to add some context to it, So anyway, but yeah, you can learn, be aware. Awareness is key. Awareness, particularly of yourself, your own personality, and things that can potentially become flaws in a relationship. Those are the things that you should learn, right? Those two things. Conflict resolution, right? You don't know what you're doing if you engage marriage. There's no way to know, all right? You know the textbook stuff. You probably know more than I do, right? You know all the terminologies. Yes, sure. But here's what you don't have: experience. How do you gain experience? The closest thing to it is mentorship, coaching. We do here, all right? That's the closest thing to it, and still is light years apart from the reality of what you're going to face in a marriage, all right? So why would somebody be able to sustain 15 years divorce and then 1 year they can't sustain the next one? Like I told you, the numbers does say that second and third marriages end up in divorce 75% of the time, much more than the 50% that you typically hear about everywhere. All right. Now, what should you do with that information? That means if you're coming out of a previous marriage, you have work to do. Okay. It doesn't matter whose fault is it. You were right. You were right that it was the other person's fault. That's not relevant to what we're talking about. That's all I'm saying. All right. Chinye said, just finished Auntie B. Shout out to Auntie B. I know. All right. Good. Welcome, D Love. All right. So we covered that really quickly. Let's get into this next reaction. Okay, let's get into this next reaction. Hit that like button. Hit that like button right now. Hit that like button. Thank you so much for doing it right now. While we're heading into the next story. This story, listen. I have to plug in one story before we get to the other one. I have to react to what just happened on Auntie B's platform. I have to. The only reason why I didn't call in is because I just need my Auntie B to go and rest. All right, because she said she has tons of shows coming up, so we need her to rest, have proper rest in between, so she can breathe. All right, but we're going to react to that here. But before we react to that, I have one little short story to cover really quickly. All right, so let's get into that. All right, let's run through this real quick. I'm just going to react very quickly to two videos and then we'll jump into that. Okay, so shout out to everyone that's coming from Auntie B's platform. Hello, hello, hello.
Here are 3 things that will happen if you decide to get into a relationship with a man who is broke and barely got his life together.
Right off the bat, that's generalization. Okay, there are many situations where a lot of people that could be your future are presently broke. Broke is just now. Yoruba people will say, not Yoruba people, no condition is permanent. That's English language, right? So this is already going to be terrible, I can tell. But she's going to have it laced with a bunch of truth. Let me point out what the truth are, right? Because when people generalize, there's element of truth in them, right? So maybe that's what we can do with this, okay? But right off the bat, let me just let you know, slow your roll, okay? This is going to be a bunch of generalization. It is what it is. We're going to hear more of it on the internet. It's not going, in fact, here you will hear generalization. It's not going to stop, but you need to be guided, okay?
Number 1, he will give you a lot of sex because that's all he has to offer.
That's also generalization. There's a lot of broke guys that don't know how to have sex, okay? Have to have KEREWA, okay? That's generalization. Some of you are going to have a side dude. Not anyone here, of course, right? Somebody's gonna have a side dude because they heard somewhere that broke guys who are side dudes, they suddenly know how to do KEREWA. Ironio, lori ironio. Don't deceive yourself. You will just end up with somebody that has nothing to lose. When it's time to drag you, you will collect woto. You can ask, what's her name? Ask Empress, okay? That dude don't have $450,000, okay? All right, that's a wretched person. That's worse than broke. So again, another generalization. Let's point it out.
He will use sex to keep you distracted, to keep you...
He's not using. People just don't use. People are bad. They are bad, not always from an intentional place. So you need to watch beyond somebody who is outrightly bad. Some people are just bad for you without the intentions to be bad. Don't say, oh, you didn't mean it like that. Then you stay in toxic. See what I keep telling you? Don't stay in toxic situation because they didn't mean it like that. If it's bad, it's bad. The way they're going to change is to back off. Give them some room so they can see that something is not... Because sometimes when they don't back off, they can't see that they are perpetuating or bad behavior, right? All right, let's keep going.
Preoccupied with providing him with money and things that he needs to help build him up. Because he's giving you this pipe dream of a story that...
There's a lot of men that will give you pipe dreams. She's right about that. Like a rapper at the age of 45, yes. I'm generalizing. See, there are some of them that can actually still make it. Some. Very unlikely. Okay? If you still has the dream to become Jay-Z at 45, bro, get a goddamn job. But maybe you truly believe. Maybe you won't even listen to me because you believe in him. But anyway, that's something. She has a point. Okay? If he's continuing to talk about dreams and you guys are suffering and it's not working out, it's not hiding up, you might, if you don't feel safe, nothing good will come out of that, regardless of all the intentions, all the good intentions, okay?
You and him will be a power couple someday, like Jay-Z and Beyonce, if you just continue to support him. He knows he don't have shit to offer you. So he will sleep with you morning, noon, and night and try to get you hooked and pacify you while he drains your money and resources. He doesn't intend on staying with you once he gets on his feet. So he
doesn't intend on staying once you get... Remember we talked about the visa guy, right? The person that's looking to get visas and they don't intend to stay with you. They will dump you and your kids. That was generalization, right? But there was also more to the story. Yes, if a man doesn't feel good about himself, he will take it out on you. He doesn't mean to. I know. But he will. Effectively, he will take it out on you. All right? Hit that like button. Thank you.
Hoping that the sex will keep you pacified long enough until he gets what he needs out of you, then he's out of there. The second...
That's not true. That's not true. All right? All right. You know I don't support struggle love. Struggle love particularly because you feel like you're struggling and you feel like you're about to choke or getting smothered or you feel like you're buying inside. I don't support that. But it's okay if you truly believe in the dreams of your partner. Wouldn't you want him to believe in your dreams if you had some kind of dream? That one doesn't exist. It's okay. Don't let people like this talk you out of it. On the flip side, if you truly don't believe in that person's dream, it's probably okay to back off and say, trust me, there are options. Okay, there are options. All right. Shout out to everyone hitting that like button. Thank you.
Second thing that will happen is he'll bully you. He'll bully and abuse you. Let me tell you something. A man determines his self-worth by his financial status.
That's a fact. Not financial status, it's status in general. Okay, if he feels less than, it's a feeling. If you feel less than, yes, that's not a good look. Okay, it might take that out on anybody. If you are the next person to him or is resenting, he will take out things on you sometimes, and vice versa. Women, when they don't feel fulfilled, will take it out on you, gentlemen. Yes, okay, it's all your fault. I sacrificed for you. There are many women saying that, and it's just a bunch of lie. That's just how they feel. There are many of them that is the truth. You need to be aware that it just depends on whose story we're talking about. It just really depends, okay? But the reality is that you will go through phases in life. It could be he was very rich and then he went broke. And then suddenly you're listening to stuff like this on the internet and you think it's better on the other side, and you think the grass is greener on the other side. You will collect, easy. If
he's broke or struggling or in between jobs, he's not going to feel good about himself. He's going to hate what he sees in that mirror. And best believe he's going to be resentful because he's broke and lacking. So he's going to turn around and bully you and punish you because you have your shit together. Even though you're helping this man, he feels emasculated. You don't make him feel.
There's some truth in this. I have to be honest with you. There's some truth in this. However, I don't want you to internalize it. If it's a situation you just met a person and they're young, they're 19, 18, 20, it's okay to have dreams at that point, but they're 45 and they still have dream of becoming Dangote. No, it's okay to have the dream, but they need to be putting food on the table. They need to be responsible for what they got right now. If they're not responsible for what they have right now, it could be as little as time. You could see if he doesn't have a job and he has time, and you can see what he's doing with his time. If he's irresponsible with that, you need to see that as the absolute truth and then decide accordingly if you want to move forward into the future with this person or not. However, if you know that this is a temporary situation, if it's obvious, even if you don't know, if the result shows that this is a temporary situation, you need to assess that properly and don't listen all the way to what she's saying. But there's some element of truth, but she didn't add age and all this kind of stuff. The truth is there's a lot of men that are still dreaming to become $10 at 55, or they're taking all your money, all your savings, and they're taking it to Nigeria because they're building a factory. And a lot of these people, if you're 55, 60, you're building a factory in Nigeria, there's a good chance you're building an outdated factory that will never work. You're sinking money in it and it will never happen. That may be your situation. That needs to be checked. So age is part of it, okay? Age is part of it. Some people just can't see. Some people are dreaming. They still have the dream they had at 20. They can't let go of it. It's tough. It's difficult, okay? But let's be guided. Let's keep going.
Like a man, even though you're helping him and contributing and trying to get him on his feet and nurse him and give him your car so that he can go on his job interviews, he doesn't appreciate it and he feels emasculated. Therefore, he will be mean to you. He will be verbally, emotionally, and sometimes physically abusive. He won't even like you. And he'll be low-key envious and competitive because you got your life together and he don't. Even though y'all in this relationship and y'all supposed to be building together, he will fucking resent you. And his resentment will turn into bully-like abusive behavior.
See, the sentence she just made is much more accurate. His resentment may turn into that. The part, how she disconnected intentions out of it. Some people are going to be, that way to you, meaning, let me use the word abuse, okay? Abuse is abuse. It is what it is, right? They're going to be abusive to you and they don't mean to. It's still effectively an abuse and you shouldn't enable it. You should say, hey, we need help. Because again, this could be a marriage with a person you got 3 or 4 kids with. They're not abnormal. A lot of people are walking the streets and they are like that. But you need to say, hey, we can have a better experience than this. Let's talk to someone. I love you to death, but we need to talk to someone. Okay. All right. Let's keep going.
Be careful. Number 3, instead of him doing the right thing and working with you and building with you, he's going to take your money and use it to impress other women, his side chicks.
All right. So most people are not doing that. Men don't have that kind of, they don't have options like that, okay? Men just don't, okay? I know it's hard to believe because all you think about is that cheater. Men don't have the options of being able to sleep around anyhow like that. Okay, most men don't. Most men are on the road 9 to 5, hustling, trying to do the right thing. Yes, effectively performing bad behavior, sometimes like controlling behavior, trying to command, trying to do, but sometimes they end up on the side of hurting you. All right. But if you keep thinking there are all these people that will just go and spend your money on randoms, this is not most men. And I need you ladies to understand that. Okay. Most men, their issues are actually easily fixable. They are over carrying too much weight. They think it's about what they say, and it's not. Their mind is too far from emotional centeredness, being that rock for you. They don't realize that it's actually simpler. They want to be rich. They want to be this. One fair digba, one fair digging, and all that stuff. At some point, like relax. Just be the emotional centeredness. They set the tone emotionally of the home. That's really all it takes for the most part. Okay. But of course, there's someone out there that will tell you that, there's more than enough stories out there, right? That will make you feel like, oh, everyone is just out there just roasting anything that walks around in skirts. There's a lot of people that do that, but majority, that's not the case. Okay. Majority is simple communication skills, simple conflict resolution skills. Simple, relax, you'll get your way, but let them have their way a little bit, sometimes, hold your foot down. It's a balance, right? Most people are just lame. They think in extremes, right? This is what's causing their problem. That's why you hear them say, I've been a good guy to you. And you are saying, no, I sacrifice everything for you. And everybody just to collect, eh? Anyway, let's keep going.
His baby mothers, the women in his family. So in other words, he will take your money and anything else you give him, buy clothes, buy Jordans to impress other women, take pictures and post them on Facebook and act like he's single, knowing he's laid up with you. He will use your money for all his addictions, gambling addiction, lottery tickets, buying clothes.
If this was majority of the men out there, we would be in a war zone, don't you think? It's not. All right. This is why you have to be careful with listening to this kind of stuff. The reason why they work and they go viral is because they are laced with a bunch of truth, right? In fact, majority of it is truth. In fact, for the most part, she's probably right.
Well, you're right.
The problem is that it lacks emotional intelligence. You can't gain emotional intelligence from it. The only thing you can do is maybe you have that one little event that happened in your life you can relate, and then you tag onto it. And most people have something that has happened that they can relate with this, and last they will just collect water.
Drugs, alcohol, weed. He will blow your money on his addictions, and he will wine and dine his side chick with your money. More of the story, stay away from broke men. You're not gonna last. He's gonna destroy you.
Yeah, that's false. Everyone will go through broke moments. Everybody, okay? Even the multi-billionaires. Guess what happens when every time they lost a couple of $100 billion? You don't think they feel broke? Oh, okay. All right. So it's false, okay? Just the idea, just because somebody is broke and that's why they're a certain way, that's a lie. That's just a lie. There's more to the story. You're right. If they're 45 and they can't take care of themselves, and a couple other people, and they're still trying to dream in a way that it's just not showing, and they can't put food on the table, yes, something has to be done about that. They need to engage wherever state authorities they live in and engage in career development, something. They need to be a little bit more aggressive with reality at that point in time. But broke is a temporary situation that everyone that's successful in life will go through. And for someone to outrightly tell you just leave and run away every time you see that is absolutely wrong. Okay? But at the end of the day, she thinks she's right.
Well, you're right.
So that was that. Hey everyone, welcome. Cynthia, good to see you. You can't be broke and can't KEREWA. Pick a struggle. I know. But there's a lot of what do you call that thing? It's a stereotype at best, okay? She say, "Oh, if you can broke." So basically, but that's the point she's making. Somebody's broke, but they can carry out. Don't get stuck there. But yeah, I guess her point is made in that sense. Anyway, he said, "What's the point again? Broke men have time to sit home and perfect KEREWA skills." Yeah, nah, it just feels that way. You will eventually collect too, if that's what you think, because you're like, oh, then eventually that KEREWA is going to feel watered down. It's still the same guy, but you're going to start feel like, wait, we've been here for 5 years. It's the same one, it's the same guy, Abby. So what happened? Yeah, it's all a feeling, right? So I said, what else is he doing? To fiakwa. How can you be broke and can't KEREWA at the same time? Igabu agbeye burukwa. You go teach me Igbo. Imagine butcher. Let me leave it alone. A wealthy person today can be broke within the twinkle of an eye, be guided. Yes, that's the point of the story. Absolutely. Basically, will you be poor and be wizard at the same time? Will it work? Oma work, it won't work. Yeah, it's a feeling, okay? Like somebody came home from jail and you have that feeling, that rush. You're like, oh yeah, it's my boo, he just came home from jail. I heard that stereotype because you're thinking it. Oh, now, oh yeah, it's all true. No, go true, Iranio. After a while, you will collect. You can start to see like, wait, the reality is kicking in your mind. It's stereotype at best, okay? By the first of the month and I have to pay bills, what KEREWA? Baby, you gotta go. Thank you. That's all. I guess that's the major point she's trying to make. But broke is particularly what everyone interprets as broke is different from people to people. So let's be guided, like Timilade said. As broke men, KEREWA couldn't be your focus. Yeah, please, easy. Wow, so true. The last point. I had a friend I helped a lot, so many years, but he hated me with a passion. Be careful. What's up, Egoza? Good to see you, bro. Clementina Towers, I've seen this happen to a friend. She worked all day and he just loafed about the house. Yeah. Just said, well, wait, what the hell is she talking about now? She was doing good. Yeah, because she was generalizing. It's laced with truth. Ultimately, it's all wrong, but I see her point. Somebody needed to hear that or think they need to hear that. Jesus Christ, I can't rock with that all the way. Yeah, so like you're right. Let's just be guided. That's all I'm saying. What about love? Some broke men may be kind, considerate, and kind. I don't mind such broke men. If you're sending out love and it's not being received, could it work? If she doesn't feel safe, even if you call it financial, she's a gold digger, whatever you want to call it, call it. If she doesn't feel safe, she won't receive it. It's a bad idea. All right. Let me move on to the next story. I promise I'll get to the reaction in a second. But let me I have one other short story and then we'll get into that, okay? But I figure we have to make sure we put this out today. Shout out to the person that posted this in the group. I thought it was a fantastic video to react to because we need to expand it out. Those shorts are very dangerous. Even mine, okay? Those 30 to 60 second shorts, they're very dangerous, okay? Because things can be taken out of context based off of your viewpoint. Very important to listen with context. That's why these long forms are fantastic. Over time, you can start to process, start making sense. But shorts are just terrible. But there's a reason why they're popular, because people have very small attention span. And they see something like, oh yeah, that's so true. Or they say, oh no, that's a lie. Either one is making the short grow fast. Wahala. All right, this is going to be a short one for my brothers, okay?
And you'll call Me the same night and tell me, hey babe, I'm not coming home.
Whatever you say, I'm not explaining anything.
It
What
doesn't
I
matter.
want
The
to
same
say,
way
I'm
that
not
you do
explaining.
that,
The only
it's
thing I
the
want to
same way
say,
that you can go
the
to
only thing I
court.
want to say is let's go to court together.
No, you
right
go
now.
to court.
Let's go.
And
I will
you
make all the complaint, but you have to take me there. You have to carry me.
I don't have to take you. You got
no,
friends here. Call Moolah.
let's go.
Call Moolah.
When do I see Moolah? When do I see Moolah? When last did I see Moolah? I stay in the house 247. You are telling me I have friends. When last have I seen Moolah? Let's go and get the divorce. You don't want to. You don't. Every time I say we should do it, we have problems. You should get the divorce. You don't want me to be free. Now you are running away with the kids. Why are you going to run away with the kids? And you have a baby inside of you, a third child inside of you, and then you are running. Wow. Where are you going to? Let's get this done today.
Like I
You don't have to leave. You don't have to go nowhere until we get this done. Let's do it all today. Why you want to leave?
Like I said earlier, leave. And you'll call me the same night.
He said, when last did I see Moolah? When last did I see Moolah? Okay, so this is another man who put out a camera and is filming himself arguing with his lady. This happened a lot. Okay? I know, maybe this is not your experience, but it happens a lot. Okay? Happens a lot. What is his intentions? What is he trying to achieve? What is he trying to achieve by pulling out the camera and filming this conversation, if you want to call it that? What is he trying to achieve by pulling out this camera? I don't think the young lady knows she was being filmed or the conversation was being filmed, right? Well, at the end of the day, here's what I always tell you, right? People need to, I always talk about this one, right? Certainty. You can always replace that word with security, okay? When you feel insecure in any shape or form, you start thinking about all this crazy solutions. And those crazy solutions, they tend to be a general consensus too. They're like, yeah, pull out the camera. Make sure you film what's going on, because these women, you gotta protect yourself. You know what I'm saying? Right. Right. Now, when you pull out the camera, right? If you're the one that's pulling out the camera, right, to film what's going on, naturally you're the one intentionally pulling out the camera. Guess what you normally do, right? Obviously, you put up your best behavior. So by default, we know that you're intentionally, okay, maybe not intentionally, you're lying. Because this is not, if you were completely discombobulated and you couldn't think straight, you wouldn't be thinking to pull out the camera. But you're cerebral a little bit right now. You want to protect yourself, right? I understand it, because, the court is vicious to men. You want to protect yourself, one day while you dead, Joe, at least you have evidence. But the judges are not dumb. They're not stupid. This is the part that no one ever tell you. They're not stupid. They're going to be like, who's filming? Oh, you were filming. So we can assume that your behavior is not authentic in that moment. Her behavior was authentic. She's arguing with her husband. She's saying something. Whatever she's saying, she's threatening you with divorce, which is a bad behavior. But people behave badly when they don't feel right. Both men and women, they will do all the wrong things when they don't feel right. Whose responsibility is it? I don't know. Who cares more about the relationship? I don't know. So why should I help an adult behave right? I don't know. You tell me. Who wants the relationship to work? Who cares about a household for their children to keep their home together? Whoever that is, it might be a good idea that they should take some responsibility without making it about faults. Does that mean I'm at fault when I take responsibility? I don't know. You tell me. What do you think you should do? You have your cards. You're being dealt. You have a wife. She's arguing with you in that moment in time. The solution for you is not to engage what she's saying. I'm being sarcastic just in case you didn't detect. Your solution, let me pull out the camera just in case, because all these crazy women, black women especially, make sure I cover my butt, right? Think about it. Just give it a thought, right? So the judges they're not slow. Maybe that's the issue here. People think, oh, the judges are just stupid. They just want to give custody to the women only. Well, you just said in your own words, this guy is Dotman. They call him Dotman. It's a musician, a Nigerian musician, just in case you're wondering. I'm trying to move quicker. I have 1 more minute on this before we get into this reaction, right? Hey, The judges are not dumb. There's a lot of factors. Yes, they have their selfish reasons. Yes, they have societal reasons. But there are reasons why the results we've created are exactly the way they are. And all you need to do is outsmart it and not repeat talking points. Because as long as you're repeating talking points, you will hurt yourself. Because hey, everybody else is quote unquote stupid or wise, but they're getting this bad result. And you want to follow that same lane. Guess what you're going to create? The same result. I don't know if it's stupid or wise. You get to decide. Personally, I think it's dumb to pull out a camera because you have time to pull out a camera. You should be fleeing if it's just that bad. You should be running away from that scene if it's that bad. If it's not that bad, what you should be doing is engage in that conversation and try to understand where they're coming from. Why? Why do I gotta sip to him or her? Get it. You will collect, okay? You know why you need to listen, because you have things to lose. You get it? Right? It's not about the persons. It's about, do you have something to lose? Okay, maybe you should engage that conversation, right? With active listening. What is she trying to say? Without feeling the need to satisfy the tangible stuff immediately. She's going to be complaining about a lot. Like things like, oh, I want divorce. Like, you want divorce? I can rock with that, but let me know if you change your mind. But I want to talk about it. If you want to talk about it, what's the issue? We can talk about it. Oh no, that's simple. Okay. Let me tell you something. There's something that's going to be true here, that you're going to be right always. Okay.
Well, you're right.
I know. You're going to be right. I need to find me another right effect. Okay. You're going to be right, regardless. Okay. However, you will collect too. There's no escaping it. If you're thinking with very short-sightedness, right? All you can think is how you feel right now. Oh no, but I'm speaking facts. No, you're caught up in your feelings. Because if you were speaking facts, you basically say, I have a lot to lose. This is my wife. She's carrying a baby in her stomach. Based off of what he just said. Maybe I should calm down. Without feeling the need that you must answer all the questions right now. Sometimes they just need to feel heard. They just need to feel like somebody's listening. I've tried that. No, you haven't. That's why you're overreacting right now. You haven't tried that. Okay? You have not tried that. And I know that for a fact, that you have not tried that. Okay? Needs people on his side. Yeah, that's a good reason why they pull out the camera. It's a need to be right. And I keep telling you, you're already right. But that's not your issue. Okay? You're already right. I promise you. Allah, you're already right. Okay? But it's bigger than that. It's going to be bigger than that. And if you can't comprehend that, hey, it's no wonder why you're creating your results. Okay? I'm just saying. Some of you picked that up. Okay? Shout out to Life with Natu. Hey, Prestige fam, good to see you. All right. Better rate late than never. Yes, Ice, welcome. I heard you earlier. All right, so let's get into the last reaction of the day. Let's get into that. I only have 30 minutes to do it. I'm not even sure if I can complete it. But let's just hear the coffery. All right. You know the other word. I'm saying it backward. Coffery. I'm creating words. The coffery. Let's hear this coffery. Okay. Let's hear this auntie, alleged auntie, right? Alleged sister, somebody. Let's get into it. Oh. Oh man. Oh wow. Oh my God. This story is the story that keeps giving. What are we talking about? Kila Ju. Auntie Fioma. Hey. Oh my God. Alex Ekubo's alleged sister. I don't know if that's the sister. I'm just going to believe that's not the sister. But it doesn't really matter. Okay? but she claimed to be the sister. Okay. She said, my family does not live in Agege. Hey, wala today. Hey. That was a lot. Okay. But I've got a few minutes. I got about 25 minutes to see what we can do with this. Okay. As usual, I want to come from the angle of extracting the lessons in this for all of us. This is not about Alex. It just seems like it's about Alex. Okay? It seems like it's not about Alex. Alex is the only one doing the correct thing so far, outside of the text messages that we saw that seems to paint him, as we analyzed yesterday, as a manipulator, a person with controlling behaviors. And that's not working out very well out for him. And this alleged sister has confirmed, well, she's alleged, so she didn't confirm nothing. She said, what is Agege? You guys will know on the show. She said our family, that all of them are straight. Okay, the opposite of it. She said nobody in our family lives in Agege. Basically, somebody said, what is Agege? All right, so anyway, we talked about this story. Go watch the backup story. This young man you're looking at on the screen, this young lady, they put themselves out. The young lady was dragging him, saying that he knew, right? That he was the one that constructed the apology. Basically, let me bring you up to speed in about 2 minutes, okay? About a year ago, they were engaged. And she came out and said she's discontinuing and canceling the engagement. And she said she don't want to do anymore, right? And she said, leave your truth. And that got people speculating all over again. There's always been speculation around his name, that he is not a straight man, okay? That he lives in Agege. You get it now, okay? And what happened? A whole year plus later, this young lady came out and apologized and said, hey, we don't make sense when we're apart. I miss you. I miss your family, blah, blah, blah. One day later, she came out and said, you know what? He helped me constructed the apology. This is all a lie. I need to be free. You get it? Am I coming up to speed quickly? Okay. And today, my Auntie B was doing her show. Am I a little dramatic? I am. Okay, I get it. Right? She's doing her show. And this alleged auntie with the same last name as Alex Ekubo came up. And this is what happened. Let's get into it.
Thank you so much, Jenny.
Yes.
I think we have Alex. We have somebody that's related to Alex Okubo here. Okay. She said, my family has been quiet about this issue, but I think it's time we set this record straight. Ifeoma Ekubo is in the studio. Hello, Ifeoma. How are you?
I'm good. Yourself? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Welcome. Where are you joining us from?
I'm in Canada. I live in Canada, but right now I'm in the States.
Are you related to Alex Okubo?
Yes. In fact, honestly...
How are you related?
Let's just leave that one. At least you can see my...
Wait. If you're going to use his last name, what do you mean? Let's just leave that one. What do you mean by that? It's already too late. Tell us more about your relationship, right? Because I have more questions about that. I have just questions. Because not only will you not tell us the relationship, just because you have somebody's last name, how many people do we know is Ajayi in Nigeria? How many Indians do we know that are Patels, right? How many, I'm thinking about Igbo last names right now, right? I can't think of one, right? How many of them do we know, right? Just because you have somebody, Ekubo, how many do we know? I don't know. I only know 2 of them, but you get the gist, right? Why won't you tell us? The cap is already real. All right.
My last name, I'm Ifeoma Ekubo, and honestly, family didn't want us to talk. Nobody wants to talk, but this is really...
Oh, wait, Auntie, you think you're smarter or wiser than the family? The family didn't want us to talk. You think they're just stupid and dumb, and they're just being a simp, or they just want to pander to the public, whatever everyone wants to say, when they can't comprehend the idea of silence as a powerful tool. What happened here? Oh, you're just the smarter one, the wisest of them all. Let's continue.
Really getting out of hand. I am so emotional right now.
Okay,
because
calm
this
down.
fancy girl, she spoke to me. Listen, fancy
hold
spoke to
on.
me. Honestly, I am upset. I didn't
It's
want
okay.
to talk. We've been
All right, I think she was authentically upset, but that's the problem. Do you realize that you being upset is actually a problem? Somebody said, but she has the right. No, she doesn't have the right. Stop it. She has the right. She's entitled. No, entitlement is the worst of them all. Okay? Entitlement is just bad. On somebody else's platform, on a public platform. Entitlement, this is how you get in trouble. You think you're entitled. You think you have rights. Everything is a privilege. Everything. Listen to me carefully. Everything, including this story around Alex, if he understands, if he's correct up here, it's a privilege. But of course, that's depending on how he chooses to spin it. Maybe he's not equipped to spin it, right? Even when alleged sister comes out, what did somebody say? Bedroom spirit sister. Bedroom spirit sister, right? Even at that, he can still spin it properly. Okay, shout out to Yomi Gold. Listen, the more you talk, including me myself right now, but thank God I'm doing a show. The more you talk, the more ammunition you give to destroy yourself. Gentlemen, especially you, listen to me carefully. I know you have all the truth. You monopolize truth. You are the only one that can. You are the truth teller, right? The more you speak. But Auntie feels like she's wiser than the rest of the family. Let's keep going.
Okay. Alex, we decided to let God fight this battle for this boy because people have been calling him gay. This is a boy that everybody know that he is not gay. He's been sleeping with Fancy for God knows how long, up until the 24th of...
You see why they call you bedroom spirit sister now, Auntie? How do you know? Oh, wait. Why is your last name Ekubo? Abi, this is just all cap. How do you know? Why are you so... Wait, because you're a sister. Okay. You were in the bedroom? Well, they asked her a lot. She said, he's nuts. In our family, it is nuts. What did she say? My family does not live in Agege.
December.
He's sleeping with Fancy
and slept with him. Why is it? Why? Just because he doesn't want to take her back. If you get it, Fancy's dad is an Uber driver. Who says she's Fancy? Oh my God.
I believe her, but I still have to call her alleged sister. I don't know this auntie, okay? I still have to call her alleged sister. I believe her though. Just my personal belief, right? But since I believe her, I think she threw him under the bus even more. She made it worse. Auntie, whenever the elders in your house say shut up in the future, Yoruba people said, it's because they are wiser than you, auntie. If they say go and pray about it and what did the Bible say? God said, vengeance is mine. Oh, you thought that was a spiritual thingy, right? No, it's not just spiritual. It's literally vengeance is mine. It's not sustainable. You can't fight for yourself. You can't do it. Yesterday, it was Fancy that needed to know that. And guess what you just did? Made it worse for the young man. Let's be clear. It's very brave for him to have not spoken at all. It's a very brave behavior. It's a lot going on inside. Let's be clear about that. Just as brave as the people that are out. One is not braver than the other. The issue here is, ladies, listen to me. Listen to me, ladies. Listen. The women in this boy's life are not helping him. Fancy and Auntie Fioma are making matters worse for him. Emotions are not your mate. If you don't put it under some kind of control, you will just destroy more. Even, what did Ice Ice say earlier? Even with good intentions. Let me go back to Ice Ice. Why didn't I start that comment too? Ice Ice, you go collect too. Hey, Jesus, where's that comment too? What did she say? Ice, where's your comment? Jesus. Where is it? I must. I found it. Ice, you must collect. Hey. What did she say? Whichever I take, it's our intentions and purpose that matter. The purpose, yes. The intention in the poto. You don't think this young lady had good intentions? She did. What did she do? She messed it up more. She made a mess.
But I don't even know. I am so mad. Like, we have had it up to here. This boy is going into depression because of what people are saying about him.
Ifeoma, calm down. I understand he's your family member.
Why is everybody saying he's gay?
Hold on.
He is not.
He is not. How do you know, Auntie? But anyway, let's keep going. So I can cover a little base today.
No, I know.
How do you know?
Auntie B, so you don't know.
Alex stood up with me. Alex is not gay. Okay,
how do you know he's not gay? Let me ask
your question.
Wait, she never answered that question throughout the whole session. She never answered that. How do you know he is not? Oh, she gave one reason. She said she gave the reason that JR gave in the beginning. Right? She gave the reason that JR gave in the beginning. In my family. They even mentioned another young man's name. They mentioned his name, Ike Bona. He said, he has a child. Dude, did you listen to the whole show? Those are terrible excuses to defend these people. You're making it worse for them. And by the way, you don't love them, including your brother. If you love them, you're not capable of loving him. I think you would like to love him like a brother, but you're not capable of loving him. Because you love him under one condition. He has to be a straight man. It's conditional. Your love for him is conditional. As long as he aligns with what you consider to be your belief about your family, then you love him. Oh no! Let me guess what you're about to say next. It's the behavior that I condemn. Cap.
Stop the cap.
It's cap. Hero. But I don't think you mean to lie. I believe truly that she wasn't lying. She was just ignorant. And I think it's worse. Because people that are liars and they're trying to be evil, we can at least see them as evil and destroy them completely. But when they're ignorant, it's like, oh, we gotta have some empathy for that. They just don't know what they don't know. So it's better that we learn how to navigate them. Shout out to Jenny J.
If Alex is gay, why is it that Fancy, do you know how many times Fancy called me to beg Alex? I was one of the people that I was even fighting for Fancy. Alex said no, that this girl is crazy. We don't know Fancy. You don't know Fancy.
I don't. No, I don't.
Fancy called me. I live in Canada. You would have seen some pictures that Alex posted when he visited.
So based on what she's saying, I was picking up that Fancy may just belong to the streets. Fancy has been out there. Potentially. She's a model, right? Yeah, potentially. Possibly. I know we call her naive and all this kind of stuff. I think she's naive. She's not street smart, but I don't think she's exactly as innocent as she's painting up to be either. But that's not what we're talking about, right? We're talking about the alleged sister. She needs to be open-minded. She is so ignorant. Nigerians are not open-minded. Yeah. Yes. With my full chest, I generalized. It's very, very rare to find an open-minded Nigerian. Okay? An open-minded Nigerian. It's very, very difficult. But it's not an abnormal behavior. That's what happens when you have belief systems and ideologies that you tag onto and you refuse to tell yourself that there's something else that exists beyond what you've always known or what you were told. Right? This is why a bunch of young men are like, wow, there's a matrix. Yes, there's a matrix. Yeah. It's always been there. Oh, you just found out. But you don't want to believe it. So you're repeating the talking point to hurt yourself more, to get angry with the world. You're angry. That's an emotion. When you don't put your emotions under control, you will self-destruct. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Canada. They have lied on this boy. They lied with him with Uti. They lied with so many people. This boy would just be quiet. And I've been telling him, Alex, I think it's high time you stand up and talk.
So why did...
Oh my God, I don't even want to say a lot of things that I know here because
they always say I don't want to say a lot of things, but let me keep going. She went in for another 40 minutes at least. What does that tell you? Well, it only tells us she's human like the rest of us. How many times have I told you that I want to end at a certain time? Today it's not different. Today is going to be different. I have to end. Right? That I want to end, but we just keep talking because we're enjoying the conversation. Right? Hit that like button. Hit that like button. Chiye says Agege is a place in Lagos, Nigeria. But in this context, he's codedly playing on words to use it to substitute the word gay. Yes, I will use Agege for the word gay henceforth. So please get used to that. Thanks to Antabi. You have Okafor, Okonkwo, Nwakpa. I've never heard that before. The Okafor and Okonkwo, yes, I've heard that. How many people do you know that are Okafor, Okonkwo? This auntie, I believe you are truly related, but I choose to not believe, so I can say what I want to say. Okay.
I am so pissed. See, Fancy said her parents were supposed to pay for the wedding. Alex pays Fancy $500 every month when Alex was the one taking care of Fancy.
That's what Alex said. Okay, you're not telling us anything. How did you know that he does not live in Agege, auntie? You have not told us that part. Oh, I know. You're a bedroom spirit sister, like somebody said earlier. Listen, she said a lot. Bottom line is that this person obviously they're not open-minded. I wouldn't call her homophobic. I will slow down on that. But I will understand anybody that calls her homophobic. In fact, that conversation was too much. We went in way too much. There's no way that anyone that was in that room would not be called homophobic because there were little subtle homophobic things that have been thrown around, even by people that don't mean to. We have to be extremely sensitive to this because it's a new age in time. Not because they are brand new, that they started falling out of the skies. They've always been there. Get this in your brain. They have always been part of the society. They were just living a secret lifestyle because it wasn't tolerated. We lacked tolerance. One of the particular skill set that you will need if you're going to be in a marriage or any form of relationship. You will have to be tolerable. Some people call it you have to be agreeable. No, they are different, you slow lame person. They are different. Agreeable is different from tolerance. Okay? There's some situations you can't change. You can try to change it. Sure, knock yourself out. But you can't. That's the reality. It's always been there. Okay? If you didn't know, say I didn't know. Keep an open mind. See, it's arrogance at its best. Okay? Keep an open mind that there's something you just may not know, like the rest of us. We are still discovering the human experience. You don't know what you don't know. I'm going to leave that video there. I think. If you want me to, tell me in the group if you want me to continue this analysis, because this video had another 35 minutes to it of a lot of ignorance coming out of her mouth. But one thing we can conclude is that she did not answer any question because she couldn't. So I kind of have to give her a pass. She couldn't. But next time, auntie, sisters, okay? Mostly women that do this, okay? Gentlemen, the feminine men out here today, if somebody tell you be silent, you're not wiser than them because you're louder. You're not wiser. You're probably more stupider. You're probably stupider, if that's a word. Jesus Christ. You're probably more stupid. Okay? You're not thinking. Maybe you're not stupid. Let me slow down. I said I was going to be nice. Okay? Somebody said be quiet. God said vengeance is mine. It's not spiritual talking. You can't keep up with what you're trying to defend. Slow down. Like Auntie B said many times, we understand you're connected to this person you're trying to defend. The best way to defend them, what's the best way to defend them? Awareness. Key. Awareness, okay? If you have to take any form of action, it needs to be within the 3 P's. You can't do anything outside of 3Ps. Anything you do outside of 3Ps in this moment, in the moment of crisis, unless we're talking about an actual war zone and you have weapons, you don't. Clearly, the only thing you have is your mouth that will help you destroy for the people you love even more. So we know that that's a bad idea completely to start using your mouth. You call into a show, you start running your mouth. Hey, shout out to Auntie B, but she keeps doing it, right? Because we know we can't stop you. We can't stop you because you believe you're right. And I keep telling you, no matter how many times I tell you you're right.
You're right.
You don't believe it when I tell you. I told you you are right. Agidi, you're stubborn. You know they hear. I said she won't hear. I said she will. She continued. It doesn't work. Talking destroys more than it builds. Do you understand? It destroys. Your words are powerful. You have to pay attention to that. Your words are very powerful. They cut both ways. There's a very good chance that you're going to use to cut yourself and the people you love when you're not aware emotionally. The very idea that you think you can call into a show emotionally and start crying, that's actually manipulative behavior. Did you know that? Did you know that that's manipulative behavior? Even if it's not crocodile tears, even if you meant well. Okay? Let's be guided. All right. Good to see you, mom of 3L official. Yeah. That's completely a bad idea. Verify your identity and relationship to the subject. Yeah, bedroom spirit sister. What a name. Oh Lord. This was just a bad idea completely. Who they beat? Who they cry? Auntie Fioma. Alleged. She will not come and say, oh, somebody is like, no. I was gentle. Trust me, today I was really gentle. Because honestly, if the Prestige family say I should continue this analysis tomorrow, I can't promise I'll be this gentle. But I think I extracted the main lesson here. Calm down. Okay? Intentions, good intentions is always ending up always, a lot of times. Good intentions is great. Don't get me wrong. I think we should all have good intentions. But they end up in the porta all the time. It's not good. It's not good enough, I should say. Okay? You need to be wiser than. You need to slow down. If the elders in your family say slow down, you probably should slow down. What that meant is means when the child is cutting a tree, you know how you cut a tree manually, right? Back in the woods, back in the village. When you're cutting it, right? A child will not know what direction that tree is going to fall in. But the elders, they know. They know. Another thing is that if you have more Gucci outfits more than the elders, you can't have more rags than the elders. Sometimes you can't see that far, but trust that the elders can see further than you. Listen, I was one of you, okay? I didn't listen. Okay, so I know I'm speaking from experience. So when I'm sharing this kind of stuff with you and I tell you slow down, Emma, slow down. Bingpe, good to see you, Bingpe. How are you? She didn't really disclose how close she is to Alex, so we don't know. No, it's alleged. That's and she's a bedroom spirit sister. That's how far we know. I guess Alex and Fancy gives her bedroom reports each time they do. And you believe what they say? Who reports to their sister what they did inside the bedroom? Who does that? Oh, I know what you're about to say. They're just that close. Still, you don't know. Assume you don't know. Always. You're about deep. You're about deep. You know, I can't lie. You know, she's the fly on the wall. She said IK was married and has a child. These are terrible proof points to determine if somebody lives in Agege or not. Auntie, listen to me, okay? I'm a village boy like you. And Mama Lum, don't use that statement ever again to prove that. Don't do it again. Stop it. Stop it. Don't do it. Go work. There are many people, shout out to them, that live this life of lies, okay? Because of the society, because of this type of talking points, right? They find themselves in a situation where they're trying to use all those fake things that really doesn't work anymore today. right, to cover their tracks. It's hard for them. I have to be empathetic with them, but it's hard for me to be empathetic with you. I want to be, but it's hard. Don't say this statement again as a proof that somebody doesn't live in Agege or not. It's ignorance. Okay? It's ignorance. She said she made it worse, especially when she said that because of the issue between him and Fancy, he's afraid of women. She left herself wide open. That's the point where I said, wait, is he afraid of the P of the box? Right? Auntie, you're making it worse. The more you talk, you make it worse. The more you talk, the more you make it worse. Women and our pepper body too much. Relax, right? I know it's tough because you're a woman at the end of the day, and you are a feminine man. That's not a crime or an indictment. It's just the zone where we find ourselves. Okay, if you're a man listening to me and you find yourself, you're caught up in your emotions, you pull out the camera, you start filming your wife because she's arguing. You're in your feminine energy. It is what it is. You're talking. You're teaching each other. The blind leading the blind. I get it. But listen to me. Keep coming back here because you will self-destruct. That's why the elders say, Nisuru. That's why they said that. I'm celebrating my father's 70th birthday this week. I can't tell you how much I appreciate that man. There's just a lot of shit I didn't listen to. Okay? Not the typical stuff. The harder one, the emotional stuff. Right? He couldn't put it into words exactly the way I needed to. But I also did not listen because I couldn't. So I'm speaking from experience, okay? Emma, calm down. Emma, calming down. All right. Shout out to you all. I'm sorry today has to be short, okay? She asked the question, can anybody come out and say they were their boyfriend? Auntie, that was the point. That's what they call the DL. Shout out to Just J. Yesterday, she said, they got DL down there too? Yeah, they do. Since forever. Even worse. Okay? Even worse. When Alex talks, he will say she is crazy and has mental. If I was Alex, I would denounce her. At least for a while. Okay? I shouldn't be denouncing that's worse. But you know what I mean? I would feel like denouncing her. Making matters worse. But where did the issue start? She never answered it. She kept saying they grew up together. Dude, you don't know anything about the people you grew up with. Especially the people you grew up with. You don't know what kind of animals they become in a marriage. You don't know what your child will become in a marriage. You just don't know what you don't know. You got to keep an open mind like that. That's the best way to defend your children, to defend your loved ones. Assume you don't know who they are inside of a marriage. Because then you'll be able to calm down and listen. Because really what they need is listening. Because what you're going to go there and say is like, no, I trust them. They will never do that. I trust my son. He will never say so. That's stupid. That's lack of wisdom now. A lot of our mothers do that. All right. Shout out to you, Naomi. Good evening. Good evening. But we're rounding off. I personally do not agree with the Agege lifestyle. But all I have in my heart is nothing but love. Hey, be careful. Be careful. It's not yours to agree with. It's not your life, right? Think of it that way, right? It's literally, the statement you just made, if I was to help you, because I understand where you're coming from, it's just not your life, right? But there are a lot of statements that we make when we're straight people that make them feel unsafer to come out and live their truth. So when you tell them to live their truth, there's a lot of subtle little things. That's why I don't speak to it too much, because I just don't know anything about their experience. It's like a white person speaking about your black experience. It's better to be less talk. You know, Ifeoma was spewing all kinds of ignorance. He was extreme. If there isn't doubt over Alex's actuality, then why do they need to have update and play-by-play of the other room antics? Listen, my analysis said very little about his personal life. I don't think it's relevant. Relationships are relationships. It's the same thing across. He had controlling behaviors. That was all that mattered. That's the lessons we could get out of it. Controlling behavior, manipulation, like what Auntie just tried to do, try to manipulate us with crying. I don't think she was doing it intentionally. I think she meant well. But nonetheless, she made it worse. She was destroying the situation even further. You get what I'm saying? Same-sex relationship has been around for a very long time, since the beginning of the human experience. Okay? Even in Bible times, so they existed before and will continue to exist. Listen, I don't trust you now. You will keep talking. Let me go to the bottom and read up a little bit. She said, even way before marriage, when you are carrying your baby on your back, you don't know what they are plucking and eating, tankless of when they are growing adult. Hey, now. Exactly. Thank you, Yvette. Thank you. He's a great man. He doesn't believe that. And that's something I struggle with. I want him to believe that he's a great man, you know. But she couldn't say he dated a girlfriend either. She didn't have to mention names. Could have said, yeah, exactly. Could add up. Could make sense, right? But that's why I say she kept throwing him under the bus. You're making it worse, okay? Anytime you go, let me pull out this lesson because I mentioned it very lightly there, and I want to mention it really quickly. I got 4 minutes. I got to round up right now. Anytime your brother, your sister, somebody you love, they end up in a crisis, inevitably it will happen in a marriage, in a relationship. All you need to do is be the listening ears. You need to be their backbone. You need to be where they can feel safe. If you are defending them and throwing the other person under the bus, they actually don't feel safe. Okay? Because remember, that was their choice. They're embarrassed by the whole situation. So throwing the other person under the bus doesn't help. Okay? They just need to feel safe that they can vent to you. That's it. That is it. Okay? If you don't understand that, you will end up throwing them more under the bus. If you go there and say, yeah, I knew it. Remember we talked about that a few days ago. I knew it. I've always knew there's something wrong about that girl. Auntie, you didn't really like Fancy like that. You were just coping with Fancy. You couldn't wait. Right? But you're not helping Alex. Right? For number one, because we know that Alex and the family, based on what you said, don't relax. God will fight for us. You thought that was a spiritual talk. You thought you could fight for yourself, right? See how it's become. Yeah, there's going to be at least 20,000 monitoring spirits on that video in the next, all of us, by the way, in the next, you see how you helped? This is applicable to all of us. Relax. Tell yourself to relax until it becomes second nature. It's not sustainable. You can't fight for yourself. That is a physical thing. That is a tangible concept. That is a real thing. It's not just spiritual. Anyway, Jenny J, I'm going to end right here. She said, Ola, please take it easy. Actually, the first time I'm joining live and you're dishing out lessons in the most hilarious ways. Let me if you want, join the group. Shout out to you, Jenny J. Shout out to you. Let me say this, okay? Go join the group and let's talk. Shout out to Auntie B. That was a fantastic session. The truth, you shall do nothing against the truth, but for the truth. Okay? You can't help the truth. If you try to help the truth, you will self-destruct. If you're a truth teller, you will self-destruct yourself. If you're a truth monopolizer, you will self-destruct yourself. Okay? In fact, living your truth, as you can see, is a difficult thing to do for all of us because we like to put our best foot forward. We like packaging. It's normal behavior. Okay? But we do it to an extent sometimes that it's just difficult. But let me take it easy at this point. Let me take it easy because we have tomorrow. Okay, join the group, join the Prestige family on the group. Tell me over there if you want us to continue this analysis. There's about 35-40 minutes more. I'm sure there's tons of lessons in this. I just know it. If you want me to continue tomorrow, I will. If not, we move, right? Shout out to you all. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate you. The Prestige family, we're working. Hopefully, let me see. why was there rumors in the first place? Cynthia, we have lots of questions. Let's continue another time. I won't stop. I won't stop if I go. The group, just go to that link on your phone, www.lola.com/WhatsApp. That's how you join. Okay, we're all there. Join us there. Okay, we can continue the conversations from there. That will help the analysis tomorrow too, as well. But I don't know. There's so much lessons. I don't want to drop it, but I'll be honest with you. Like I said, we're celebrating my pop's 70th birthday this week, so I gotta go get the boys some shoes tonight before the mall closes. I only got less than 3 hours to get that done. So I'm sure you all will support me to go get that done. Let's get that done, right? All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Go join the group right now. Hopefully you've been enlightened and educated. I'll see you on the next one, and peace.
Your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Me love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.